Hello and welcome to Kerrie O'Connor's December 2020 energetic forecast. It has been an amazing year. I can't believe it's the last month of the year of 2020. Oh my gosh, what a PhD course on all levels of life. That all of humanity has been experiencing individually and collectively. The energies that are happening throughout December are really intense as we started the beginning of the month with the lunar eclipse. And now next week on the 14th, we have a solar eclipse. And you want to remember whenever there's an eclipse, there's an intensity of energy that builds up. Eclipses always equals intensity. And having that awareness, and especially when you look at the end of the month and then you got the winter solstice that's coming up on December 21st. And I was being shown this great big star that was coming down. Then all of a sudden I saw these news articles about that the star is going to be seen. They call it the Christmas star. That is the first time, the ability for us to see it is the first time in 2,000 years. And it's just another message, an amazing message of how many cycles that we are individually and again collectively closing off these cycles. And some of these cycles is an 800-year cycle. Some of them are a 200-year cycle. And some of them is like a 12-year cycle. And there's just cycles within cycles within cycles that are profoundly affecting all of us. And so just in a nutshell, for those of you that might be either new to this messaging, I said in my November forecast that I was going to be doing much more on podcast, and we are going to be flipping over to podcast recordings and then doing videos. And I had to really be flexible because as I'm getting my whole office set up for the videos, I've had to deal with some parent stuff. I know a lot of you asked about my son. He did have COVID, and he has a full recovery. For a couple weeks, he had the muscle stuff and muscle aches and all that stuff, but he did have a full recovery. My father-in-law did cross over, excuse me, and my own parents are 85 years old, and I am the nurse in the family, and they live up the street, so that's a daily journey of helping them with their phase of this life. So for all of us individually and again collectively, we've really had to learn flexibility and to be able to kind of go with the flow when things can change very, very quickly. And as we learned in the beginning of this year that, never say never. And also in a nutshell, your life could seem like it turned upside down in a nanosecond, And what I was thinking about it this morning, that in September of 2019, I start reading what is going to be the major theme for the next year in January. I bet I get shown that stuff in September. And last September 2019, I saw the picture of the earth, and I saw this energy going over it, and it looked like black, which means to me, depending on what kind of black and the patterns it has, it could mean infinite possibilities and potentials. It also could be black as in releasing old, ancient stuff, old patterns, lower vibrational energy. And the way that it came down, it looked so different. And I even joked with my guides, the elders, I said, "What is this, the plague?" And they just smiled and continued to smile. And they said, direct instructions for us to be prepared throughout last fall on how we could help ourselves throughout 2020. And so they were encouraging and showing me that 98% of humanity is not grounded into our body. We consciously or unconsciously hit the pain body, we splinter off, and our energy field is not consolidated. When we're not consolidated, it looks like Swiss cheese. So we are wide open to get pulled into duality, separation, fear, right? Then they started encouraging people to look up their north nodes. Very simply, north node astrologically is connected to life purpose. And it was a strong message again this past September that we are invited to empower ourselves by looking up where our north node is. Very easy. Just Google north node, put your birth date and time in, and you will see where it is. And then go to YouTube and look at several YouTube clips on what the north node, what it means, because it's connected to life purpose. And most people are living in the south node. And they showed me again, 98% of humanity live in the south node. And when I kept on seeing those numbers at first, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought we came a lot further away in our evolutionary process than that. But again, they kept on with this big smile and saying this is a time that we have been preparing for. There's a divine order here. And that the invitation of the upgrades that we're getting right now are truly miraculous. And we've entered, when I spoke of November, of the never say never. This is like never say never to 0.20. So in a nutshell, as we're clearing out this year throughout December, going into this, starting the first 2 weeks with the intensity of this lunar and solar eclipse, so that could affect our left side of our energy fields and our right side of our energy field, our ability to take in higher vibrational energy and really get into balance, to ground, because I'm watching these grids open up that are, this infrared energy is coming in up from deep inside the earth. I've never seen these infrared colors before. I started seeing them more throughout the end of August, September. And again, a very fast message with it was helping us align to our bodies, our physical bodies, to start really getting an upgrade in those, to open up the channels so we can continue to release. There's a real big message throughout December, or the whole fall, but it's a continuous message of us being able to neutralize. I'm saying a lot in my private sessions. We want to neutralize, and imagine our core center tube, where this neutralizing energy, it's very high vibrational, is running up and down our inner tube, our core spot there, the space between the physical spine and the spiritual spine, I refer to a lot. And even if you just intend that you're opening up to that neutralizing energy, and then just imagine it running throughout your whole physical body, then radiating like the rays of sun throughout the inside of your skin, your physical body, and it radiates at 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 feet. What you're doing is bringing in that neutralized energy as a vibration. It's an energy code. It's connected to so many things. I'm making this very, very simple right now, because we are doing so many endings of a cycle to allow new beginnings. And many people are talking about this solstice in particular, not only around Christmas holiday, having that Christmas star, and that we haven't experienced in 2,000 years, the year that Jesus was born, that we are entering into this age of Aquarius. And it doesn't mean that when we wake up the next day on December 22nd, that everybody's going to be singing Kumbaya, and that we're all going to be holding hands and everything's much later. This process is going to be unfolding for the next couple of years for us. And it's just, in another couple of years, it's like a 200-year process that we're just beginning, starting another 52,000-year cycle. And again, just to keep it simple, cycles within cycles to allow endings, to allow new beginnings. We could feel like we've gone through our own personal 9/11. Whenever I see that in a person's energy field, 9s numerologically means endings. The 11s are about masteries, new beginnings with mastery. What did I learn from the past? So as we're turning around and really working with this energy throughout December, we really want to continue to consolidate our energy, to really fine tune, because the energetic grids that they're showing me that are opening up in January, or you could say they're starting to open up more throughout the solstice throughout January, and bringing that infrared energy in. It's allowing us to upgrade our body. We'll be having much more physical symptoms. A lot of people that are very empathic are feeling this at a level where it could feel very, very intense. Another analogy I was just shown is that we're collectively and individually going down that birthing canal. Excuse me. We have the head out, and now we're getting we got the shoulders out, the neck out, and then we're rounding the shoulders. And I know I saw images of this before, but now we're getting to the part where we really are moving those collective shoulders out. And that also means, what are we shouldering? When I look at people's energy field, one side of their shoulders looks up, one's down, right? And it instantly tells me that they're not opening up their heart energy. There's a lot of heart static, which means not putting out the signal of heart's desires that are encoded in all of us. And the more we start really weighing off what's my responsibility, what's not my responsibility, and coming back around to this ending of the cycle, for the spotlight is on us, and not in an ego way. This is where we're really having, imagine a lot of like this window, blue Windex coming in front of us in the mirror of how we're reflecting and seeing ourselves. And that blue Windex is a vibration of bringing in wisdom, connecting to the ancient one within all of us. It doesn't matter what age we are, and taking in, having the knowledge that we've been gathering for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, and having it flip over to the wisdom. Big difference between knowledge and intellect and wisdom. So we are all at this stage of finishing this year of, again, the spotlight is on us. Many people had to take inventory in their house, and either we were restricted with COVID restrictions, or our life and jobs have totally turned upside down for us to get in balance. What's really important, what's not important. And this isn't about getting into fear. This is about being able to ground and look beyond duality. Many people have been texting me, excuse me, about an energy coming in, and it looks like a black wave or a dark wave or that kind of stuff. And I'm not even getting to the politics, because I was reading stuff even before the election, and that energy was changing every 7 hours, to be honest. Flip right, flip left, flip right, flip left. Too far right, too far left. I don't care what side it's on. Anything that's too far in extremes is not getting a distorted view. So it goes back to that neutral state. How can we stay neutral? And how can we ground into this neutral body as our bodies are getting these upgrades, and we're gradiating this, which is really freeing us in all directions of space and time and outside of time, where we could be plugged into old patterns. And this is a huge, when I saw Jesus coming in through the Easter weekend, and again, he was beaming and he was smiling, and he brought in Archangel Michael and the whole band of mercy, the hundreds of thousands of people behind him. And their main, very simple message was, we can individually and collectively resurrect ourselves and get off the cross that we energetic carry that keeps us locked in duality. So that's the continuous message. And as things are speeding up, so this magnetic energy that's waving through and coming through, and is going to get stronger and stronger. And I spoke about it in my last couple of talks, and definitely my classes, that in June, we're known as, our energy fields can be called electromagnetic. We're adding more photo, more light, more higher vibration, remembering, reawakening, realigning, and reconnecting to that energy. And as we are doing that, we're adding more of that photo, that light, right? And so it's always electromagnetic beings, right? Now, all of a sudden, it's flipping the words around, and it's magnetic electric, right? Or magnetic electric looks like it dropped down where it's underneath it. So what does that mean very quickly? That means that we've been on this journey, talking about one of those cycles, that we're ending the cycle that was the industrial age, right? And now we're entering into the age of Aquarius. And as we are individually doing this, and we are stepping into, tuning into, entering into our bodies different, opening up the pathways that are allowing us to be in this world and not of it. when I saw that magnetic energy coming in. And I had a conversation with a couple of people over the last couple of weeks where these people are sensitive and or hearing stuff through the internet that this dark black wave, blah, blah, blah. And I understand what they're saying, but I also say we have to have the flexibility to step beyond the fear. And I always like to keep things simple, but even in those simple words, guys, there is profound energetic shifts that are happening. We're becoming activators every single day, every single week. When I'm working with people or working on classes that are coming up, I'm just so happy and amazed at where we have access to stuff that we didn't even have access to the week before, right? So as we are finishing off this age, as we are stepping in and consolidating our energy, as we are opening up the pathways, as we are moving that energy between the physical spine and the spiritual spine, and really adding that extra lubricant, bringing in that neutralizing energy. That neutralizing goes throughout your whole energy field, and like with a great big comb, it gets all the snarls out. And it doesn't mean you won't have perfect days. That's not about that. It is about being able to, when you get pulled in, to be able to consolidate yourself and get unhooked from anything that's keeping you, again, in duality. Too far right, too far left. And it's not even political. It's just anything where we're off balance. So we want to build up, especially before we start the new year, a lot of miracle grow, I always call it, that rich, energetic soil to go have it go underneath our feet so we could put our roots. And in this energetic miracle grow, there's an extra vibration, an extra bounce to it. It literally goes right up our spine, and it goes right between the scapula, the shoulder blades, and there's a pulsing energy. And whenever I do this within sessions, all of a sudden I see the person literally putting their shoulders back and opening up the chest cavity, the heart cavity, and then their shoulders start getting off those blocks of what's my responsibility, what's not my responsibility. It helps them open up their minds, their eyes, their intuition, to be able to look at life again through duality, be able to be in this world, meaning be in your grounded body. The more pathways that we have open and the more we do the healing and clearing, the more when we consciously integrate into the physical body, the more we get grounded, the more we don't hit the pain body and then splinter off. And then our body looks like Swiss cheese that are put through a cheese grinder and a meat grinder at the same time, right? And again, I want to emphasize this is good news. We're rebirthing. We knew it. We're at the right age and stage of this. And it's also never, ever too late, right? So going back to that magnetic flip, again, very simply in the nutshell, that magnetic also has an energy of manifesting things faster, that we are the creators, that this same information we've been hearing forever, but now it's like real time, and it's never too late for us to fine tune with this magnetic grid. So going back to the black waves that are people seeing, if you're looking at it from the projection of a lot of fear and you're contracting your energy and you're not grounded, it can feel very staticky. It could bring up worse fears and worse nightmares and really irritate and aggravate people. And but also when you're able to rotate it and look in it at a different perspective, when I go up 45 degree right, or I'm looking from a very, beyond 3D, like 5D and beyond, this pattern of this magnetic wave that's coming down, we'll notice it more in physically things, where I know a lot of more people are complaining about something weird about their phones. That electrical magnetic thing seems to be going a little wonky right now. And we could be having more of those kind of experiences as we get used to standing on that magnetic grid that also helps us heal our body on a quantum level. So we are entering into this phase of aligning quantum body, which is miraculous body temple that we've all had. And we start opening this, we're starting to get back to what I refer to our original blueprints, feeling solely backed up. Then we unplug to the three major things that keep us locked: fear of annihilation, fear of change. How do you transmute that? We realize that change is a cycle that we all go through, including death. And it could be a physical death, the death of a loss of a job, relationship, that kind of thing. And be able to hold into embodying it, embracing it as it's a cycle of life, right? Nature teaches us that to us all the time, be it a forest fire. You always see the greenery coming back through. Or living in New England, we got the trees. that are bare of the leaves, and that it allows the new earth to come. So new energies, and the energy that's going to be coming throughout January as, again, these magnetic, think of it as a magnetic carpet being laid down for all of us. And the more we have a balanced energy body, the more we'll learn to ride with these, right? And be able to be totally, again, grounded into our bodies and be able to get the static out of our heart's desires. I saw a lot of energy that's shifting over what I call the universal grids and the earth grids right in the pelvic outlet. So that also told me not only the analogy, are we turning the corner and delivering those energetic babies, new birth energy for ourselves individually and collectively, and feeling soul supported, we also have this amazing, amazing ability to, it's not even words for it, I tell you, things are happening so fast that we are entering the stage of never say never, and that we're, again, being handed a pen to how do we want to write the script, and then it's never too late to define it and redefine it, and especially when we have that ability to look at things through that neutralized energy and those charges that are even unconscious, or we know our conscious charges, when they are neutralized enough, and it doesn't have to be 100%. That 51% neutralization allows us to turn the corner, and it starts shutting down those pathways that we could be hooked up with, again, consciously or unconsciously. And going back to the three major fears, brought up fear of death, fear of change, also what I call the right to life issues, so that's self-esteem, self-worth, entitlement issues. So these are all processes that we've been working out throughout eons, right? And again, 51% of our energy, when we say, oh, self-worth, I can build up my self-worth, and it doesn't mean ego. Self-esteem, again, doesn't mean I have a big head. And that helps us really clear out from subtle messages that were handed down for generations, not only within our own family grids, but the collective grid of humanity. So here we have this message of being free, resurrected, as Jesus said, right? That he also showed me this energy throughout June where that magnetic energy is going to get stronger and stronger. We had this summer to adjust to it. Then in September, I saw the infrared energy coming deep from the earth that's continuously helping us ground into this earth, and it does this protection for us so we can navigate and again open up the our energy bodies. I call them the original blueprints. That's what I was told by the 12-12 Council and my people since I was young. So we're entering a stage of going back to the original blueprints. What are those? Those are where we are in perfect form. Our bodies are literally built to live hundreds of years longer than we are. We have our own magical pharmaceutical chemicals in our bodies that could work on with profound healing. So the more we're getting that magnetic energy, the more we're going to see positive shifts, and not only alternative healing, but medical bridging with alternative healing. And communication, how we're communicating within ourselves, right? With clear, concise information, and also communication within each other, right? We are entering a stage of a very inclusive energy. You could say the energy theme of the last cycle of the industrial age really involved building up brick and mortar, but also it was a lot of innovative ideas and creativity, but now we're doing it in a way where it's not about me, mine, what I have, what I own, what's, that kind of thing, which again served its purpose, where people had their own ideas and they backed themselves up and they built the Tesla, or they built whatever, over the, again, hundreds of years. Now we're entering the stage where I saw this simple image that started last fall, and now I'm seeing it again clearer, where imagine a round table. There's seats for all of us. And on one way, it looks like this 12-seat setup. And those 12 seats are us connecting to different aspects of ourself, right? We're multidimensional, multi-faceted parts of Creator. And so when we start getting fluent in tapping into these. This is where we have hidden gifts and talents that are there waiting for us to deliver, pelvic outlet getting aligned for us to have easier access to this. Then you look at it from another place where that round table at the center of it is the collective heart. It looks like a stellated dodecahedron. It's the energy codes of unconditional love and support, the holy grail that we've been searching for forever. It's inside of us. It's literally within the quantum heart, encoded in our energy field. So the more we have that open and the more we back ourselves up with it, the more it allows us to be in this world and not of it, to be able to look through duality, be able to run that high frequency energy in, and then the quantum brain, where we have access to see and perceive life beyond, again, old programming and static that has kept us blocked, or even thinking that intuition is weird. Intuition is just part of our wiring, for crying out loud. So this is where we're headed, and this is so, so exciting. And does that mean that we won't have intensity? No. Does that mean that when we look in the outside and we hear craziness, I always reflect the message of what I hear on the outside world and say, where can I make adjustments on the inside of me? Because the energy that's going to go through January through March, I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but it is another cycle of where we're turning a corner that is miraculous. But it also at times could feel like you're in Olympic training to hold these energetic postures. And what you want to remind yourself is that, it's never too late. This is about us and why we came down here in this lifetime in particular, to wake up and evolve beyond duality, beyond separation, for us to feel physically, mentally, emotionally, that we can radiate out our aspect of creator, God, love, whatever you want to call it. And we are much more multifaceted than just one aspect of love. And when we bring in that fluidity, which also allows us to get beyond that right and left. And my guide said this to me a long time ago. Have the mantra be, what feels light for you is right for you now. And they emphasized NOW as a great big now, So as time seems like it's speeding up and it's going to continue to have that theme, that you want to ask yourself, what does this feel like? Does this feel light for me? Does this give me joy? Does this get me out of bed? Does it just give me excitement? And the more you keep on following that path, the magnetic grids bring those experiences, peoples, and opportunities to you. In the industrial age, we were going out and searching it, and that's the way we were wired to do it, and there's nothing wrong with it. That was just part of the phase and stage. Now we're entering a new one that's going to continue to unfold, and the more we start dialing into it, you will see the results. It's not a if, it's a absolute. So this is an exciting time. I'm going to get a little bit deeper because, as I said earlier, we're going to be doing podcasts, and then we're going to be getting into the videos with messages, and we have a lot of exciting things coming up. And speaking of that, this is the time of year that many of my clients, especially those that have been around for 20 plus years, it's the buy one, get one half off holiday special. So the rules are that you get a 60-minute session, you get the next one for half off. And you can go to Calendly at kerrieoconnor.com and set up that session, and it gives you instructions of the next hour, that it describes it very easily. And if you have any issue with that, with not being able to go to kerrieoconnor.com and work with that website and go to Calendly, then you could always email us and be able to make an appointment or figure that out. We also do gift certificates. A lot of times people love this special because they get a session for themselves and they know that they're going to want another one down the road, or they want one for a friend. And so they get one and they give them out as Christmas gifts. Some people do several and give them out to Christmas gifts. So The only rule that we say is that if you get a 30-minute session, then your next session is going to be 30 minutes, an hour, minute, the same amount of time, and it's half off. Get the first one, the second one's half off. So then you could have a year to use those. With the remote readings, we don't have the special buy one, get one half off because we have them priced on a lower thing anyway. So we run remote specials every once in a while, but right now we're just doing the buy one, get one half off of the Zoom sessions, the FaceTime sessions, the in-person sessions. I also spoke of the God Codes program. So we're going to be starting that in January. And the tentative date is January, Thursday, January 7th or 14th. I just got to get a little bit more details. So the God Codes program is going to be starting the 7th through the 14th. And that's a 6-week program. So I want to talk about the new year and starting it where you really are in a get energetic, not only practice, but every week we have a meeting, we talk. Every week you get different exercise, work to different part of the body, different activations to get those God codes that lie within very fluent. And I also do daily energy work with y'all. And we have an open forum where people could share their experiences and all that. It's very, very popular, and a lot of people have been asking for it. So that's the God Codes program, and you could look at those on the internet, kerrieoconnor.com, and get further information. I'll be giving more information out, but it is January 7th or 14th. And again, I'm going to be doing at least from the beginning, maybe 2 podcast recordings, YouTube, podcasts, that kind of stuff. And then go to the videos, and it will probably end up being 3, sometimes having different guests and all the other stuff. So that is coming up and we'll be developing as we're going on. And this has been, again, in the works for a while, and now it's getting down to the part of making it happen. So I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited about going through this most amazing journey with all of you in our human history. And it is just an amazing time to be alive. There was a song in the Hamilton play that was so popular, and that whole play, I was having a discussion with my sister, is really about timing, and the energy of the founding fathers, that they were willing to lay their, life down for, they were into that creative spot. They were so young, and they were so, looking beyond duality and looking beyond fear, right? And all the songs are really woven in with big time messages. And the one that kept on popping up for me as I was thinking of recording this was, all through yesterday was, I'm not going to sing it for you, but if I had the words, I might say it to you, but it's like, look around. It's nothing, look at the timing that we're in. This is amazing. Look around. Da, 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 da. I'll do better. I'll give more in my next recorded. I'll have it play in the background or something like that. But the message with that was you could feel the palpable excitement of people gathering together, inclusive energy, right? Being able to share from the heart so we can leave all our defenses behind. We are entering into a stage where, I said this especially throughout the God Codes program, that humanity is waking up and we're going to universal law that has been running us from at all. The universal laws are very different from the man-made laws, and now we're awakening to what the universal laws are and how they are incorporated throughout the whole universe. In the first law that you could say, that we have been really connected to remembering is all is one. All is one. I'm going to say it again, all is one. And when we really digest all is one and bring it through all of our bodies and really understand and anchor it as, it's not my truth, it's not so-and-so's truth, it's a universal truth that has helped create the universe. That really can help us stop doing this divide and seeing ourselves as separate within our own energy bodies, within our own families, the family humanity, and the earth family, so we can start bridging together. It's a huge bridging time. The shamanic people have talked about it, indigenous people forever, that the rainbow bridges are up and opening. I've been watching the rainbow bridges since I was a little girl, and they are absolutely real. They are pathways that are helping us step into our next evolutionary place. And when we feel soul supported and we're grounded in our body, we are entering a stage of never say never. So I'm going to leave you with that. And until next time, align with the divine. God bless.